This is a very important speaker coming up. Okay, very important to the state of our country. This is how important this next speaker is. Okay, Scherie Murray, let's give her a round of applause. So I'm going to do a little summary on you. Republican candidate seeking the nomination for U.S. Congress in New York, 14th Congressional District, in the growing field of Republicans seeking to challenge Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, better known as AOC. This is how crucial listening to her right now is, because we all know what AOC is doing to this country. Scherie is a businesswoman and past Republican district leader. She's a proud veterans advocate and advocates for small businesses and economic development in her community. She has been on Fox News. Everyone has seen her on many of the Fox News programs, and many other media outlets since her campaign has gained widespread national attention. Scherie is a longtime member of the QV GOP. So let's welcome home Scherie Murray. Give her a big round of applause, please.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys all hear me okay? Thank you for such a warm reception. It is a joy to be here as a Queens native daughter and having lent my time for over the past decade to grassroots community building. It is truly an honor to be here. Thank you again for the great reception and introduction. My name is Scherie Murray, and I am running for Congress in NY14, which includes Queens and the Bronx. I migrated to America from Jamaica at the age of 9, and I know what it takes to work hard. I know the value of a good education, as I've gone through the education system here in New York, and I know what it means to be a positive leader in your community. And so, as was mentioned, I was duly elected to the New York State Republican Party as State Committee Woman of the 29th Assembly District, where I served 3 terms as State Committee Woman. I also served as the Queens County GOP Communications Chair under the leadership of former Congressman Bob Turner. I hold 2 degrees from CUNY, one in microcomputer business systems and the other one in broadcast journalism. As I said, I've lent myself to the community for over a decade. I ran back in 2009 for City Council against James Sanders and enjoyed the endorsement of our Republican Party and also the Conservative Party at that time as well. I went on to run again for City Council against Councilmember Donovan Richards. And most recently in 2015, I was also a standard bearer for the Republican Party, throwing my hat in the ring, running for State Assembly in the 29th Assembly District. It was an open seat. There was no other person ready to step up to the plate, and I was proud to carry the torch for our party. And that's what I've been doing for the last decade, helping to build the Republican Party in a community that the party has a long time struggled with. And so now I'm in the race for Congress, and I have the opportunity to do that on the national level. And I must tell you, it has been a phenomenal groundswell of an opportunity. I am humbled by the reception on the national level, and I cannot tell you how heartfelt and meaningful it is for someone like me to be able to articulate the Republican message to a national audience. But I'm in this race specifically because of what's happening at the national level. And we see the rhetoric coming out of the current representative that holds the seat for NY14. Not only is it destructive, not only is it divisive, it's not doing anything for the quality of life and for the kitchen table issues that are affecting the constituents of NY14. Those and many more reasons are why I'm in the race for Congress. I hope to have your support, as I am a former and longtime member of the Queens Village Republican Club. You guys do awesome work, and as my campaign message indicates, we're in it to unite the fight locally at the grassroots level, and we want to take that unity all the way to Washington, D.C. Some of the issues that are important to the constituency in the district include comprehensive immigration reform, as the district is made up of some 47% migrant population. Including comprehensive immigration reform, I'd like to speak about policies that include infrastructure. I know our president is eager to get infrastructure bill passed, and so I certainly would be a champion to work with the legislative body to ensure that we can get an infrastructure bill done here in New York. In addition to that, I am a huge education advocate, as I am a mom of 3 little ones, and have spent my time, in addition to being a community leader, raising my children full-time. I am happy to report my son, who's 6, he just got skipped, and he went from kindergarten to 2nd grade. Thank you. He's a scholar in the Success Academy Network. And if you guys are familiar with what's happening right now, the mayor is trying to close out the school and deny the kids a middle school here in Queens. And so as a part of my campaign, I intend to personally advocate for the kids in Queens and the Bronx and advocate for education, as that was the foundation as to why I'm here standing in front of you today. It's certainly going to be an uphill battle, as we have opponents in the race. This is a democracy. And so if anyone wants to make a small donation tonight, I'd be happy to receive it. Also, I'm here with my campaign manager, Ashley. We'd like to just meet and talk with you guys and see if there's any way that we can come together as we take our fight to D.C. against AOC. Yeah. I feel like I can close here, and I don't know if it's room for any questions, or I think it's an opportunity to further engage and make it a little bit more personable, so I'm happy to take a few questions at this time. Ronnie, how are you? Sure.
Wait. Probably reach.
You said that 47% of the district is, interestingly, you said migrants. How many are illegal? And what's your proposal on changing? And what about the homeless shelters and the jails in Queens?
Thank you for your fully loaded question. So I'll take the first part with regards to immigration reform. The makeup of the district does include a legal migrant population. And so we don't want to identify illegal migrant population, but more so talk about policies that for people who have worked hard and contributed to our economy here, what dialogue we can engage in to a path to status. So status is very important, as I am a legal migrant. I'm now a citizen and understand the process. It's certainly a very delicate issue. When we look at the makeup of the district as well, there is a disparity in age as well. We have our younger population at some 23%, and that includes our 18 to 24-year-olds. Then we have our older population, who I think would, when we look at our path to victory. We're looking at the moms of the millennials and the 18 to 24-year-olds and the dads. So when we look at that sector of the population, we're looking at from 44 on to about 66 or 65. That makeup is about 40% of the district. So that sector of the population outweighs. When we look at our path to victory and connecting with the immigration issue, it's important to note these demographics as well. Some of the things that I'd like to champion, and I certainly agree with the President's momentum of the Flores Settlement Agreement, that extension would be beneficial to closing some of the loopholes that we see now with regards to illegal immigration and the influx of illegal immigration to our southern border. There are other policy positions as well that I certainly want to roll out in the next coming weeks as it relates to immigration. Your second part was about our jails and our homeless shelter. There's a recent killing in the Bronx, in a part of the district where a young man just took the life of his child's mother. And so it's disheartening to know that we have a homelessness crisis here in New York City, and the mayor continues to just throw the people that need the services the most to the wayside. And we need real leadership from the city-wide level, and I think that speaks to why we have the influx of our homelessness. The mayor wants to close our jails. I don't support closing our jails. I would rather us reform Rikers as it is in the district. And so we can certainly talk to a federal plan where we can house inmates in Rikers Island and house federal inmates. Perhaps use the jail as a place for federal inmates and make that a talking point for persons to be closer to home for our federal penitentiary persons. So I hope that answers your questions in part. And I'll take another question if there's any.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Hi, Scherie. Good evening. I just have a question about, your electoral history and everything. You mentioned that you ran for a few different offices in the past. What have you learned from those experiences that will make you a strong candidate in District 14?
Thank you for your question. Thank you. When I first ran, I certainly was humbled by the process running in a predominantly Democratic area. And so it certainly taught me a whole lot, right? Got my stripes, learned a lot from really connecting with a community that they don't support the Republican messaging. You listen to the current elected representatives when they come into the district, and they really denounce the party and blame the Republican Party for their lack of moving policy along. And so it's certainly been an interesting experience for myself, right, being an African-American woman that believes and supports the Republican platform and the Republican ideology. And so I've had actual success in my community, not just working across the aisle with local elected officials across the aisle, but also flipping Democrats to Republicans as a state committee woman, re-registering Democrats to the Republican Party. So I've actually done that. And it's been a great experience being able to transition people and inform them about the message of the Republican Party. And when they understand the benefits of family values, of our low taxes, of our belief in school choice, our support for religious freedom, these things are just basic common sense things that everyone supports. And when you speak, when the it's about the messenger. And so I feel like that's another reason why our candidacy, my candidacy, has been getting that national support because of who the messenger is. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to connect those dots. I hope that answers your question. Yep.
Well, we got to go to.
So, having an unlimited supply of low-income, undocumented labor for decades has really kept wages stagnant for the last 30 years. So how can you communicate that to the general population somehow, that unlimited supply, the open borders basically keeps wages down?
Thank you. This is certainly a hot button issue as immigration reform is needed, and we see the legislative body try to make attempts to pass bills, but they've been unsuccessful. I believe my personal story, being a migrant, and understanding the process of becoming a citizen and being a proud American speaks to that constituency. And persons who have come to this country illegally and have settled here, have built and raised families here, there's a different path to status, and it's crucial to be able to separate the two. And I think that's where we are right now. I think the president is doing a phenomenal job in trying to secure our borders, trying to get the needed funding to build the border wall. I think policy is really what we need, and it's time to stop the nonsensical rhetoric that we see from the legislative body out in D.C., where we're not getting solutions, we're not seeing policy come to the table. That's really going to close the loopholes, those asylum loopholes that we have now. We see people coming to our southern border, and that is on a slow decline because of the president's stance on immigration. No problem. I'm happy to be here with you guys, so I'll take as many questions as you'll allow.
What's your take on the mayor trying to get rid of all these standardized tests for the students?
So yeah, I totally think that the mayor it's time for the mayor to go. He did New York and launched against the president. And after some probing by the FEC, he quickly quieted down his campaign. And so now we're stuck with him for, another 1.5 years, 2021. The process of getting into specialized high school should remain. The process of educating our kids should be better. We have a segregated education system. Our kids are not performing. We have low proficiency rates from our 3rd graders to our 8th graders. And as I stated earlier, we're in a desperate crisis right now. We just had a rally at Warren Wilkins Park that turned out some 4,000 parents and students that are denouncing the mayor's education platform and calling on him to open up a middle school for the charter school network. My kids and other kids, some 200 plus next year who are going to be graduating through the network, won't have a school to go to. So they'll have to go back to public school for 5th grade, graduate. Parents are in tears right now. And so I do think we need an overhaul in our education system, as it is a statewide issue. And we know the governor has his thumb on the mayor in that regard. Last question.
Once you get to Albany, what do you plan to do to help us protect our rights and protect ourselves?
So, Second Amendment.
Yes.
Certainly, I would never infringe on your right to bear arms. I do believe that our founding father inked it into our Constitution for a reason. It's a hot button issue as well, where we've seen an influx of mass shootings across the country. It's scary as a parent. I'm certainly going to be transparent in that regard. And we need reform. The president issued an executive order to ban bump stocks. And I think that shows his willingness to move policy along. I don't think he wants to infringe, nor does anyone wants to give up their right to bear arms. That's how we protect ourselves and our families. But we have to come up with a solution that would make everyone in this country feel comfortable. And I think we can be on a path to comprehensive gun reform if we can just get the right people in Washington, D.C. So I hope on this campaign trail to have your support, not just financially, but physically, to get out there and pound the pavement and to win this one. We need to take back NY14, the rhetoric that's coming out, the policy that's coming out, the Green New Deal that has a $93 trillion price tag. It's going to sum up to some perhaps $400,000 per household. That's an astronomical number. What they want to do with our healthcare system, just peel it apart. What we hear is free, free, free. And that's not free to the taxpayers of this great nation. It's going to cost us. And so if we don't stop this type of policy push now, where our kids are going to, it's going to be the detriment of our kids. And that's another reason why I'm in this race, to inspire the next generation, to be a leader for the next generation, and to demonstrate that you can have positions that bring people together. So thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. I'd love to come around and chat with each of you. And I thank you for your support now as I continue on the campaign trail.
Let's give her another round of applause. Scherie Murray, going against AOC. I don't think I'm understating that it's an important, very important election. Who shot? All right. So, very important. Scherie made a good point. Not only financially, we need boots on the ground to help her because AOC has a tough, she's a tough opponent, not only on the finances, but she has big troops behind her going door to door for her. So Scherie needs all the support she could get. So let's give her another round of applause. Scherie Murray.